where do most people actually fall down with their recovery? And where do most people make mistakes when you're looking at recovery after a couple of sessions or after high volume weeks? I think, as we all know, at this stage, especially if you're listening to this podcast for a while, it's people aren't covering the basics. Recovery in general is extremely basic when you break it down to that nervous system change of parasympathetic and sympathetic, and I talk about this a lot more in other sessions, but I guess people aren't doing the basics. This is what the majority of people fall down on, and how they get inadequate recovery and then don't get the performance that they want. And the basics are, as we know, it's sleep, diet, it's stress management, hydration, and movement. They are the basics, really. If you nail those and get all of those right, then in general you can train for a lot longer at a lot much higher level. You'll still need your deload weeks and you'll still need your rest days, but that should support the body enough so that you can get the most out of it when it comes to it. Now, if you don't have those things in place, it doesn't really make a difference what you do on your recovery days, whether you go to the sauna or if you get in front of a red light or if you foam roll or whatever you do, go for a massage. It really doesn't make that much of a difference because your main recovery agents are affected and you need to get those right. So I think that's one huge one. Another one, and I go into a lot more detail on this, is relying on feeling alone. And this is another one that you want to put feeling, how you're feeling in with what your training schedule and training load is looking like and your lifestyle is looking like. Just relying on feeling, at times some people aren't as connected to their body as others would be. So some people it works perfectly and you'll have an idea of when it's time to pull back. But it's similar to an intuitive eater. Nutritionists and personal trainers and dietitians talking about this a good bit, is that somebody who claims to be an intuitive eater, even if they are, let's say, overweight, may be that their intuition is off a small bit. And this can happen the same with their people who have an idea of their body. Now, in general, people who are training for a long time, who have a fairly high training history, a fairly high volume of training history, do have a better idea and a better understanding of their body, but it's not the same for everybody. So it's important to take in both sides, your training load and your load overall, as well as how you're feeling on a day-to-day.